October 1st, 2025, and the U.S. government is officially shut down, and both parties are blaming each other. Over 20 million Americans would lose their health care if the Republican bill was passed. Here are the responses from both parties.
It's really unfortunate that the House of Representatives is AWOL right now. Speaker of the House isn't even here. President Trump walked away from the negotiations originally, spent the weekend on the golf course, and then came back. And we saw how seriously he took this when he did that AI, deep AI fake. The president is not serious about resolving this issue. We are.
Sensing a little blame there? Well, here's the bottom line. The government your tax dollars pay to keep up and running is not running today. So we're bringing to life a look at the impacts to the services that you need daily from your government. Let's first start with services that you'll continue to get. We're told Social Security payments, along with Medicare and Medicaid, will not have an interruption. However, the administrative side of these services, like call centers and benefits casework, they will be impacted. Those agencies seeing furloughs and staff performing what the Trump administration calls non-essential services. So let's talk about impacts to public safety where you live. We're told law enforcement activity, including FBI investigations, immigration operations, and military tours, they will continue mostly uninterrupted. Now, as to the impacts on your health services, imported food will be screened by the Food and Drug Administration, and the National Institutes of Health will continue caring for patients in its clinical center. But get this, those employees, they'll work without pay until the shutdown ends. Now let's talk about the services grinding to a halt while you were asleep overnight. Civil litigation by the Justice Department against organizations or even local governments, that's on pause today. Routine inspections of manufacturing plants, as well as screenings of livestock feed for harmful ingredients, also stop cold. If you're planning to take a trip to a national park, well, get this, you're going to likely find many of those parks shut down today as long as this goes on. And if you're traveling by airplane, you can expect some disruptions as well. The U.S. Department of Transportation says more than 13,000 air traffic controllers will work, but they won't get paid. The last time there was a government shutdown, some employees opted to stop coming to work. CBS News, Chicago's Asal Razai is at Chicago O'Hare's airport on impacts to your travel.
So far this morning, we haven't seen any long lines. It seems it's business as usual here in Terminal 1 for a Wednesday morning, but we know both domestic and international travelers could start seeing some long lines as the shutdown begins to affect the travel industry. Those federal employees, of course, include TSA workers and air traffic controllers. They're required to show up as essential workers, though they'll be doing so starting today without any pay.
The bill, upon reconsideration, is not passed.
We know multiple proposals to keep the government funded past midnight failed in the U.S. Senate. Senate Republicans pushed for the Clean House passed bill that extends funding into next month. Senate Democrats want a bill that also extends federal health care subsidies and protects Medicaid. The last shutdown, by the way, back in 2018 lasted longer than a month. President Trump now threatening mass layoffs and federal cuts directed at Democrats. Travelers we've talked to this morning say they are worried and they're hoping things are resolved soon.
Not really worried. We've been through a lot worse, with COVID and everything else. But I mean, nowadays we can do a lot of stuff virtually if we have to. But the travel is going to be, it might be an impact for us staying late nights at airports and having to rebook flights, etc., things like that.
Americans will still be able to get Social Security checks and passports, though we know TSA is warning travelers to expect delays. We know lawmakers will be back on Capitol Hill today with more possible votes. Reporting at O'Hare, I'm Asal Razai, CBS News Chicago.
All right, so happening now in Memphis, Tennessee.